ready to dive into one of the, well, I think, most captivating love stories ever told.
Oh, absolutely.
Beren and Lúthien, we're talking about
Yeah.
a journey back to Middle-earth's first age.
Mm.
And not just the world, like you said when it was young, but magic was just woven into everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing to, really kind of unpack all this incredible source material we have. I mean, early drafts, poems, even letters from Tolkien himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it really starts to reveal how much this story, I think, resonated with him.
Yeah, what's really fascinating is that this wasn't, just something that Tolkien came up with. It was almost this personal myth for him.
Really?
Inspired by his love for his own wife. He constantly revisited it throughout his life, refining it, reshaping it, almost like he was trying to capture the essence of love itself.
I love that. Like, it really adds another dimension knowing how much this story meant to him.
Yeah.
And when you look at the characters themselves, Beren, a mortal man.
Yeah.
And Lúthien, an elf princess. And not just any elf princess, daughter of Thingol and Melian the Maya, which is like, whoa, We're talking about beings of almost angelic power.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like defying the very nature of existence, this love.
And their love story is set against all these epic events, and we're talking about the Silmarils.
Oh, yeah.
The jewels that hold the light of the two trees of Valinor. These were hallowed by the Valar, essentially the gods of this world.
Mm-hmm.
These jewels were so potent and so infused with beauty and power that it was said that their fate was intertwined with the fate of the elves themselves.
Wow. So then we have Morgoth.
Yes.
The first Dark Lord who, steals these Silmarils, essentially plunges the world into shadow. I mean, the stakes are unbelievably high here.
Right.
This isn't just some romantic adventure, Beren and Lúthien.
No.
It's a fight against, I guess, the ultimate evil for the fate of the world.
Exactly. And it's really important to understand the scale of this conflict because it highlights the magnitude of their defiance.
Yep.
When Beren, a human who's already been through so much, dares to cross into Doriath, that's the hidden elf kingdom.
Right.
He's not just stepping into a forbidden realm. I mean, he's entering a world that's on the brink of destruction.
It's teetering.
Yeah.
And then he sees her,
Yes.
Lúthien.
Dancing in the twilight of the forest.
Tolkien describes it so beautifully. Her silver dress just shimmering, her feet barely touching the ground. It is love at first sight, but it's not just some fleeting infatuation.
Right.
This is love that's going to challenge everything they know.
Everything their worlds believe in.
Yeah.
And what's really striking is Lúthien's choice. She's an elf, so immortal, and yet she chooses to join Beren, a mortal man.
Wow.
Knowing that she's embracing a shared fate, a finite lifespan, and ultimately death.
I mean, that's a huge decision right there. It reveals so much about her love for him.
It does.
It's not naive infatuation. It's like a conscious decision to turn away from eternity for love.
Exactly.
It's almost as if she's saying immortality has no meaning without him.
Right.
I'm getting chills. But their journey together is anything but easy. I mean, come on.
Oh, no, absolutely.
They face challenges that would make the bravest warrior tremble.
Oh, absolutely. Thingol, for example, Lúthien's father.
Right.
He represents, the distrust that the elven world has for mortals.
Yeah.
He sets Beren these impossible tasks, truly believing that no mere man could ever succeed. But you know what?
Right.
These challenges actually become a crucible.
It's just
forging their love, revealing their true characters.
So their first major hurdle is getting away from Thingol's wrath, which forces them to rely on stealth, some cunning, and honestly, a bit of luck.
Right.
Then they encounter Tevildo, Prince of Cats, who holds them captive in his, enchanted halls. It's truly a test of their ability to work together.
It is, and it's actually Lúthien who really shines at this point.
Oh, okay. She uses her wit, her magic, along with the strength of Huan, the Hound of Valinor.
Okay, yeah.
A legendary creature who is bound to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just a testament to her power, it's also her compassion because she outsmarts Tevildo.
Oh, interesting.
Rather than just using brute force.
So their journey, it's like a tapestry woven with all these incredible encounters, each testing them. But probably the most terrifying is Carcharoth.
Yes.
The monstrous wolf guarding the gates of Angband, Morgoth's fortress.
Now think about this. Carcharoth wasn't just any wolf. He was bred by Morgoth himself. This creature, pure malice, power, specifically designed to counter Huan, the Hound of Valinor.
Oh, wow.
It's a battle of titans. And the stakes, Huge.
It's almost hard to even like imagine in this confrontation. It really reveals how much they sacrifice. I mean, Beren loses his hand to Karcheroth.
Yes.
The Silmaril that they've wrestled from this wolf, it burns his flesh.
Mm.
It's a visceral reminder of what it costs to defy fate. It is. The Silmaril, the symbol of light and beauty, becomes a source of pain and corruption for Beren.
Right.
It foreshadows the sacrifices that they both make, pursuing love and justice.
And Juan, noble hound, fulfills his doom by killing the monster, but not without paying the price. He succumbs to the wolf's bite. It's so heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. Juan's sacrifice truly underscores the loyalty and devotion that's woven throughout this story.
Yeah.
And it also kind of shows us the cyclical nature of fate, how even the most powerful creatures are bound to destiny. Even in victory, there's a price to be paid.
Right. And their journey, it doesn't stop there. They keep going. I mean, the love for each other, the desire to get that Silmaril back, they go to the heart of darkness. I mean, the throne room of Morgoth himself.
Imagine that, those two tiny figures standing before the most powerful evil in all of Middle-earth. It really speaks to their audacity and their belief that love and courage can overcome any obstacle.
Unwavering belief. I love it. Okay, Lúthien uses her voice, enchanting voice, and just otherworldly grace. I mean, she puts Morgoth and his entire court to sleep.
A deep slumber. It shows us the extent of her power, her magical prowess, and the sheer force of her will.
And Beren, talk about audacity, tries to pry a Silmaril from Morgoth's crown.
Yeah.
This moment, it embodies their defiance, their willingness to risk it all. It's a moment that could actually, literally change the fate of the world.
Yes.
And he does it. He gets a Silmaril, something no one else has even attempted. Of course, at a terrible price. They barely escape Angband. It's a desperate flight through darkness and danger.
Barely escape with their lives.
And after all that, Beren dies from his wounds, his touch forever, I guess, marked by that Silmaril.
It's heartbreaking. It reminds us that even the greatest love stories can have tragedy in them.
Right. And it's so sad when they say goodbye. Beren, having done what he set out to do, lies there dying as he gives that Silmaril to Thingol.
Oh.
And Lúthien, she can't even bear to think of living without him, so she decides to follow him into death.
It shows the depth of their love, their absolute unwillingness to be in a world without each other.
It's true, and her grief, I guess just the power of her love is so strong it affects Mandos.
Yes.
The doomsman of the Valar.
Yeah.
The one who, decides what happens to souls in the afterlife.
The one who decides.
This moment, it really shows that love can transform. It goes beyond even life and death.
Absolutely. And then their story takes this unexpected turn.
Oh.
Mandos, moved by Lúthien's plea, the intensity of their love, grants them this unique fate.
Like what?
Something that's never happened in Middle-earth. They're allowed to return to Middle-earth together, but as mortals.
Wow.
It's bittersweet. It's a testament to the power of their love, but also a poignant reminder of what they gave up to be together.
So they choose to spend the remaining time as mortals, relinquishing their immortality for love.
They do.
It's beautiful and tragic, a story about the enduring power of love and sacrifice. A reminder that even in darkness and danger, there's always hope.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is that Tolkien doesn't just end their story there. He weaves it into the very history of Middle-earth.
Oh, okay.
It shows how what they did had consequences for generations to come. Their descendants play a key role in fighting Morgoth. Their legacy actually shapes the fate of the world.
When you think about it, it's mind-blowing. It's not just like a romance on its own. It's part of something so much bigger. It reminds us that even the smallest acts of love and courage can have this huge impact.
Exactly. It's about choice.
Choice.
Yes. From Lúthien choosing to embrace being mortal to Beren's commitment to his quest, they're constantly making choices that go against what's expected and challenge the way things are.
So they're kind of like rebels.
In a sense, yes, breaking free from their worlds for love.
And their journey is paved with sacrifices. Beren loses his hand, and that shows physically the price he pays for defying fate. Juan, their loyal companion, dies protecting them from that wolf, Karcheroth.
Yes.
And even Lúthien, she gives up her immortality.
It's a huge sacrifice. She's willing to become mortal to share Beren's fate. It shows how deep her love is.
And these sacrifices, they impact their family line, right?
Yeah.
Their son Dior inherits the Silmaril, carrying their legacy, and Dior's daughter Elwing plays a huge role in the events that bring down Morgoth.
Exactly. Their story becomes part of Middle-earth's history, a real testament to the enduring power of love and sacrifice.
Powerful. Their actions have these consequences that reach far beyond their lifetimes. They shape the destinies of whole races and influence things for generations to come.
Absolutely.
It's as if their love, their courage, becomes this catalyst for change,
Yes.
a driving force that sets things in motion, leading to good overcoming evil. Makes you think about how what we do affects things,
He does.
how even small choices can have big consequences down the line.
And that brings us to another fascinating aspect of their story, the theme of mortality.
Oh, okay.
Lúthien, as an elf, could have lived forever, but she chooses to become mortal. She wants to be with Beren, to feel everything humans feel, the joy, the sadness of a limited life.
It emphasizes the beauty and fragility of life, doesn't it?
It does.
How precious each moment is, and it takes their love to a whole new level.
It really does.
It becomes more than just a passing romance. It's this deep connection that goes beyond life and death.
Exactly.
And this idea of mortality isn't just about accepting death. It's about really living, cherishing every moment, and embracing everything it means to be human.
It is.
Makes you think about how we see time, how we value our own lives. Do we let ourselves truly experience everything, the joy, the sorrow? Or do we let fear and uncertainty stop us from living fully?
That's a great question.
Beren and Lúthien's story, it tells us that even when things are dark and we feel despair, even when the world seems like it's falling apart, love can still be there. Their willingness to embrace being mortal, to face the unknown together, it shows us that there's always hope. It shows us that love has the power to change everything.
It does.
This story, it speaks to what we all want deep down, to connect, to love and be loved, and to find something that goes beyond the limits of our world.
Absolutely.
And it challenges us to think about our own choices, what we leave behind, and the impact we want to have. What are we willing to give up for love and justice?
Yeah.
What risks will we take to make a better future?
It's amazing how the choices they make, seem personal, but they end up changing the world.
Yeah.
Their defiance against Morgoth, going after that Silmaril, it brings hope to a world that's full of darkness.
What a spark, right? A
Yes.
seed of resistance that grows into a rebellion.
Exactly.
But their story also shows how complicated love and sacrifice can be.
Absolutely. It's not just a fairy tale.
Right.
It's a test.
A real test.
That pushes them to their limits, makes them face their fears, and make really tough choices.
Like when Thingol demands a Silmaril as a bride price.
Right.
It wasn't just about Beren being brave. It was a way for Thingol to show he didn't trust mortals and didn't want to let go of his daughter.
And Beren, because he loved Lúthien so much, took on that impossible task.
He did.
He was willing to risk it all, face anything, just to be with her.
And Lúthien, she didn't just wait around.
No.
She went with him on his quest
Yes.
against her father's wishes,
Yeah.
embracing the danger.
They weren't just brave because they fought monsters and a Dark Lord. They were brave because they challenged what everyone thought.
Right.
They defied expectations. They made their own path.
Yeah, they were rebels,
You could say that.
and they made sacrifices along the way.
They did.
Beren lost his hand.
Yes.
That was the price he paid.
A physical reminder.
Juan, their loyal companion, died protecting them from that wolf, Karkaroff.
And Lúthien, she gave up her immortality.
To be with Beren.
It shows how deep their love was.
And their sacrifices, they affected their family, right?
Yes.
Their son Dior got the Silmaril, carrying their legacy, and Dior's daughter Elwing played a big part in the events that took down Morgoth.
That's right.
Their story becomes woven into the history of Middle-earth.
A testament to the power of love and sacrifice.
Their actions have consequences that last for generations.
It's like their love and courage changed everything.
A catalyst.
Yes.
It set things in motion, leading to good defeating evil,
It makes you think about the choices we make.
and how they can affect things in ways we don't expect.
Exactly. Our small actions can have big consequences.
That brings us to another interesting part of their story,
Oh.
mortality.
Lúthien, she could have lived forever,
As an elf.
but she chose to be mortal, to be with Beren, to experience all the things humans do, the good and the bad, in a limited time.
It makes you see how beautiful and fragile life is,
It does.
how precious every moment is.
Then it makes their love even more special. It's not just a romance, it's a connection that goes beyond life and death.
So this idea of mortality isn't just about accepting that we're going to die. It's about living life to the fullest,
Right.
appreciating every moment and experiencing everything it means to be human.
It makes you think about how we see time and
Yeah.
how much we value our lives.
Do we really let ourselves experience the joy and the sorrow? Or do we let fear and uncertainty stop us from living fully?
It's a question we all have to answer.
Beren and Lúthien's story shows us that even when things are dark and we feel hopeless, even when the world seems like it's falling apart, love can still exist.
It's a powerful message.
Their choice to accept being mortal, to face the unknown together, tells us that there's always hope and that love can change everything.
And that story speaks to something we all want.
Connection, love, and something that goes beyond the limits of this world.
It makes us think about our own choices, what we leave behind, and the impact we want to have on the world.
What would we sacrifice for love and justice? What risks would we take to make a better future?
Important questions.
And speaking of what we leave behind,
Yes.
let's talk about the Silmaril.
Oh, yes.
It's more than just a jewel.
It is.
It's a symbol.
It represents the lost light of Valinor, the beauty and purity that Morgoth stole.
Right.
When Beren and Lúthien got it back, it wasn't just a victory, it was a reminder that even in the darkest times, light can return.
And the way it went through their family,
Yes.
from Dior to Elwing, it's like a torch being passed down.
A symbol of their legacy?
Even though they chose to be mortal, their actions, their love, continued to impact the world.
And in the end, that Silmaril ends up in the heavens
Worn by Arendelle,
as he sails across the sky.
a guiding star for those who are lost.
A beacon of hope shining down on Middle-earth.
It's a beautiful image.
It is
Their love, their sacrifice becomes a light in the sky.
a powerful message about love and hope.
It makes you wonder what other stories are written in the stars.
It does.
What other acts of love and courage have shaped the universe?
It's amazing how one story, Beren and Lúthien, can make you think about so many things. I think for me, it's Tolkien's portrayal of the elves that really stands out. We usually see them as like these ethereal beings almost above the struggles of us mortals.
It's true.
But in this story, we see their vulnerability. Lúthien's grief over Beren.
right.
Her willingness to choose mortality for love.
It makes them more human.
Yeah.
Shows us that even these immortal beings feel things deeply.
It makes you question what immortality really means. Maybe it's not just living forever, but like the depth of life you experience no matter how long or short it is.
I think that's a good point. It brings us back to the Silmaril's journey.
Oh, yeah.
A physical object, yes, but it's also a symbol that travels through the story, touching everyone it comes into contact with. It's true that Silmaril's light that Morgoth stole, it represents the loss of beauty and hope in the world. But when Beren and Lúthien get it back, it's not just a win, it's a reminder that even in the darkest times, light can come back.
It can.
And the way the Silmaril passes through their family to Dior, their son, then to Elwing, their granddaughter,
Yeah.
it's like a torch being passed down, a symbol of their legacy that keeps shining even after they're gone.
It shows that even though they chose mortality, their actions, their love, it keeps impacting the world.
It ripples outwards.
It does.
And eventually that Silmaril ends up, well, in the heavens. Worn by Arendelle as he sails across the sky, a star guiding those who are lost.
A literal beacon of hope shining down on Middle-earth.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Their love, their sacrifice, transformed into a celestial light for everyone.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder, what other stories are written in the stars?
it does. What other acts of love and courage have shaped the universe we know?
Wow. This has been an incredible journey, this deep dive into Beren and Lúthien. It's really made me appreciate Tolkien's world in a new way. The power of stories to inspire, to move us, and themes that never get old, love, sacrifice, hope, they just echo through time.
Absolutely.
And as we come to the end of this journey,
Yeah,
I hope you take something from this story with you.
I do too.
Maybe the Lúthien dancing in the twilight, Beren's unwavering courage, or that Silmaril shining in the dark. Whatever speaks to you, let it remind you that even when things are tough, love and hope can win.
And that even the smallest acts of kindness and courage can make a difference.
And leave a legacy that inspires others.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into one of the greatest love stories ever told.
It's been a pleasure.
May it inspire you to find beauty and meaning in your own journeys. And remember, even in darkness, there's always light waiting to be discovered.